And stained water warms faster too, so
Yeah, it does. The
it's
colored water does help because it does get warmer faster,
yeah,
and it's good until it gets hot, right? And then it's not.
yeah.
So,
I just had I just had some friends down, or a friend came down, and he's haven't drawn a blank. He's taking this young kid under his
yeah,
wing, and he brought him down with him, and I took him out, and they hit it just right. I mean, we caught probably 50 fish a day. Bass were just on fire, the best I've ever seen it. So they had a wonderful trip. I mean, we caught fish until we were ready to quit. You know what I mean? They wore
sure.
good. That doesn't happen all the time. So it was they just hit it just right.
We're gonna have to have a a Keith's on now. Hey Keith, buddy. I think
Hello.
we're gonna have to have kind of a fishing tournament. We're gonna have to have a reason to get together and everybody put in, I don't know, like 3 packets. We're playing for a case of a box of Stronghold. Everybody puts in 5 sticks.
There you go.
And the winner takes all.
There you go.
I mean, that's not bad. Well, come on, we
Yep.
can have some fun with that.
Yep. Yep.
I think
That
it'd
would be
be
fun.
good. I would enjoy that. So
The,
anyway,
the fun part would just be get down here and go fishing with me.
exactly. Get the guys together, get a line wet, and have a chance to tell a story or two. So
I only live on the third largest lake on the East Coast, so there's plenty of lake there.
perfect. And now
Nice.
that lake doesn't have water moccasins and stuff at it, does it?
I mean, I don't know, but I've not seen. I'm on a lot of the Facebook pages for the lake, and I've never heard anybody say anything about one.
Okay. Okay.
It's got turtles. I've never seen so many turtles in all my life as there's in this lake. They're everywhere.
Now, are you looking at painted turtles? Are you looking at snaps? Are you looking at box? What kind of turtles you looking at?
Well, I know I'm seeing two different varieties. One's just what I call a typical mud turtle, they get really big. And then you got those paint turtles. There's bukus of them. You pull up to a log sticking out in the water, and there'll be 15 of them on it.
But is the one turtle, is it the soft back with the snout with the gray nose, or is it the one that has the jaw that'll bite your finger off?
Well, those mud turtles, snapping turtles, they're the ones that get really big. I mean, I see them the size of a truck tire in here, and yeah, they could bite your whole hand off. But the other ones, those little paint turtles, they're about the size of a saucer. Maybe a plate if they're real big, and they're just flat.
Yeah.
Soft looking. So
Now, do you like turtle? Do you like turtle dressing? You guys ever had turtle dressing?
no, I like my turtles swimming around the boat, not in the kitchen.
What about you, Keith? Huh?
I've never had turtle, and I don't plan on having it soon.
It's really good.
I've heard people say that there's 7 different types of meat in a turtle.
There could be. I know that we would enjoy turtle dressing. It's really good, but then again, that's another thing. Wait, now Keith, now Keith, you're of course you're in the northern part of Florida, but you're not close to where James is at. But James, have you had the opportunity to drive over an alligator yet?
No, there's not. Well, there's a big debate on that here, but I don't feel there's any alligators in this lake. But we're
Okay.
close to where alligators are. If you go just south of here, there's lots of them, in other lakes, and I've seen them.
Okay,
And I've done a lot of fishing in Florida. I've fished in Florida in years past, and so I've been around alligators quite a bit fishing.
Okay, yeah. When I lived in Charleston and Myrtle Beach and drove along going down the Grand Strand, you know, before and after Hugo, there was many a light in those dark roads because there's no light, right? And you just go boom, 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 boom. Like first time you go, I ran over a log, and then I thought maybe I ran over a person, and said, no, you probably ran over an alligator. Don't bother backing up.
Where our daughter and grandkids used to live, over towards Charleston, alligators were common around where they
Yeah.
were at. They seen them
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, they are like literally like running over a log at night because the road's black, the blacktop road's there. And there's no lights anywhere except you and your vehicle. And
Yeah.
they're black and laying across the road because they're just kind of warming up. And
When it gets dark, it does get dark.
yeah,
Really dark.
it really gets dark, doesn't it? So super. Well, guys, I'm happy to have you here tonight. We're gonna have a kind of little conversation about testosterone in relationship to the liver. Now, I sent you guys some notes. You probably didn't get them and didn't look them up.
No, I
Maybe
looked
you
at
did.
them.
I
Yeah,
looked at them.
Yeah.
Good. So let's get going because we're going to have a conversation because most men think that testosterone, the big T, comes from the nether regions. You know what I'm talking about? But it passed through the liver first. So before we got started on the protocol, did you feel like your engine was kind of gummed up, or could you describe brain fog or fatigue that made you realize that kind of the inner filter was kind of not working?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I didn't know what I know now, but yeah, I mean, brain fog and fatigue was a huge thing for me, trying to
Now,
stay
did
on
it come
myself
on
all week.
gradual, or is it just like it happened all of a sudden?
No, it came on gradual. It wasn't one of those things that one day I was like, what's going on, so it came on gradual for sure.
And Keith, how was that for you?
About the same. I noticed I was falling asleep at 10 o'clock in the morning.
What?
I'd wake up at 6:30, and by 10 o'clock I was wiped. And then I'd have a soda or nibble on something, and next thing you know, you're up for another 2 hours, and then you're sitting in the chair just dozing off. I thought it was just a part of getting older,
And
taking that midday nap.
and getting older, you're talking you were what, 30? 35?
Yeah, about 35-ish was when it started being noticeable. Before it was like, okay, it's Sunday, it's no big deal, take a nap, or a rain day or whatever. But as it progressed, it was getting harder and harder to keep focus and
Wow.
not fall asleep.
And James, about how old were you when you started noticing that?
Probably in my later 30s. That's when everything kind of started going south for me, and it all kind of went hand in hand.
And you guys are only in your like 40-ish, 50 now, right? So it's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah.
And that's always so crazy for me because like that would have been, I was 50. I'm in my 50s at that time when you were in your 30s. And I didn't really start feeling that till maybe I was towards the 60s. So I mean, there's that time lapse. This again just layers in my theory that the modern day food environment, you guys are always in it, and I was before it. So we might have gone through the same amount of time, but I was older because I was already here. So that's why for me it's so mind-boggling, guys, that when we have these conversations, because I never felt those things until I got like where I'm at now, older, literally older. You guys were younger. I mean, you're older for them, but you're still younger relative to everything else. So I don't you find that just kind of to say like I was just getting older and shit, you weren't even 40. I mean, come on. I mean, go, what do you think old is now?
Yeah. Well, the sad or the good part is I feel better now than I did then.
Yeah. Perfect. I know it is. And yeah, that's we do. We all do. I mean, we really do feel better, don't we, guys? Okay. So here's the thing. The next thing is that let's talk about estrogen. Now, wait a minute. But back on the first question, did you ever even consider testosterone or the liver was involved in that brain fog or that tiredness? Did you ever think testosterone or the liver was involved ever at that age?
No, not
Yeah.
for me. I never put the two together. Not until way later, a few years ago. And but yeah, I had no idea because I didn't drink. I quit drinking 30 some years ago, and I legitimately thought I was safe from all.
Wow. Well, and then a fatty liver doesn't just sit there, and like, I'm a liver, I'm sitting here. It doesn't just sit, it actively converts that hard earned testosterone into estrogen. I don't mean it like that, but I do mean it like that, right? I mean, because all of a sudden we kind of, our masculinity kind of shape shifts, sort of, kind of too, right?
Yeah.
So if when we've all seen the dad bod and man boobs or whatever you want to call them, right? I mean, like, looking back on your before pictures, and you guys have all looked at them, can you see where your liver was losing the war against the hormones at about the same time your brain fog was going? If you look back at pictures, whether you're at the beach or wearing t-shirts or whatever, the shape, did you notice when your shape started to change?
Yeah, for me, that was definitely in my 40s, going into my 40s. But that's also whenever I started having the heart problems and everything was just coming unglued on me then. So yeah, I mean, I went from talking about the testosterone and masculinity. I feel like I shifted straight from masculine and feeling manly to survival mode. Everything just went south, and at that point, all I wanted to do was to try to get better. So there was no in between.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I just got used to never taking my shirt off. And
Yeah,
I'd go to the beach and I'd still be in a shirt, tank top, something. I wasn't that guy. I didn't feel near what I do now. I've got no problem wandering onto the beach now.
yeah,
And I would have to agree, probably close. I started noticing it before I was 30, but it wasn't as pronounced as it was, say 10 years later, where you're like, oh wow, I,
yeah,
I could wear a bra. And
yeah, yeah. I understand that. It's like, what? It's like, I could, how it doesn't matter how many bench presses or curls or pulls or whatever. I literally I gave up on it. I like, this is okay, fine. That's for those guys. That's kind of how I started looking at it. Like, okay, fine, I give up. And then eventually, hey John, now then we got Mr. Lou Ferrigno Jr. over here.
Lou Ferrigno. Come
Did you
on.
ever have man boobs?
John
Bamboos?
Dre the
Now,
Giant.
did you always have just like shoe boxes for a chest, or did you eventually need a Dolly Parton?
Well, I never needed a Dolly Parton, but I did have shoe boxes, yes.
Well,
See,
because you were
Jack
squished out.
agrees. He's over there saying, yeah, whatever, Grandpa.
You had shoe boxes for a chest at one time, didn't you?
No.
Didn't you? I mean,
No,
I thought
I
you were
mean,
just,
I had the muscle, yes, but
yeah,
I always had the fat over it. I was never fit
really.
like people would think. I'm actually the fittest now than I've been my whole life.
Okay.
So, I mean, even back when I was doing the weightlifting, powerlifting, yeah, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
big and strong, but I still had a lot of body fat still.
Okay. Because the guys that I guess when we were talking about it earlier today too, is that when they get like that, when we see those pictures, I guess I'm guessing that they're guys that have gone to the, I'm eating egg and steak once a day, every day, because I've had a competition in a month or something. And they got a photo shoot coming. So then they get that body fat down to wherever the heck it is.
Yeah.
And actually, and women too that get into that physique bodybuilding, they go that route and it's in eliminating as much of that fat. Now, we don't know that they have fatty liver at the same time. I don't know, because we don't know what those enzymes would be. But for the normal of us, we kind of see that war on the hormones going on inside of us, don't we?
Yeah.
And we start thinking about, well, remember when I was younger? Yeah, then we start wearing different kinds of shirts and whatnots, right?
Don't get me started on different type of shirts, sir.
So, guys, what do you got drinking there, John? What do you got? You got what you got in that cup there, buddy?
This one's apple spice.
Apple spice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you got some leftover.
Yeah, apple spice was my wife's favorite until the raspberry pomegranate came out.
Okay.
And now she doesn't care for the apple spice, so I take it every once in a while.
So that is a chlorogenic acid tea?
Yep, the chlorogenic acid tea.
All right. So you want to clear your liver up, huh?
Always.
All right. Well, you're telling the sugar to take a second place behind the chlorogenic acid tea. Now, Keith, I see you got a little pinky going on there. What is that?
Yeah, mine is Signal. I haven't had one for today. I brought the tea when I went to my new doctor's visit, and yeah, when I got home, as soon as I finished it, I started up my Signal, which still has done wonders for my sleeping, for my everything, my heart. I mean, they took my blood pressure twice when I was at the doctor, just because apparently, and I thought something was up when I went to see him, that the building looked familiar, and apparently I saw him 14 years ago. I had an issue when I was down visiting my brother, and I saw him, and they took my blood pressure then, and they took it today, and they're like, something ain't right, but they left it alone. Then I went in to see the doctor, and he came out, and he's like, I'm going to test your blood pressure again. And it came back spot on, and he's like, okay, never mind. I was assuming, because originally they did the wrist cuff,
Yeah,
which is inherently always not the most accurate.
but it's
And
quick for them to do, right? It's just
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me check my blood pressure real quick. Yeah, I'm good.
yeah.
I'm great.
Yeah,
It's about as accurate
and
as the wrist ones are.
so he tested it the normal way, and he's like, okay, I just wanted to verify where we were at. And yeah, it was crazy. So the stuff we're doing works, George.
It does.
Oh, it
You know,
does.
that Unamate gives us the focus of a hawk without the insulin spike. So it's a golden way to start our 16-8 or 12-4-4 or whatever kind of interrupt you guys do. What do you guys do? Do you do any kind of set scheduling or approximate scheduling for delayed eating or anything like that? Do you do any of that at all?
No.
I think John's shaking his head, not at all.
I typically do like a 20 and 4. I
Okay.
eat once, maybe twice a day, depending on how my day's going, and I do alternate the schedule a little bit. That way I'm not eating, for argument's sake, 4 o'clock every single day. You know, there's days I'll eat at 3:30. There's days I'll eat at 5. You know, I kind of keep it up, not rotating a little bit, but kind of keep the body guessing, I guess.
Sure.
And but yeah,
James,
I
what
never
about-
eat before noon.
Okay, James, what's your world like in terms of are you cycling through your feeding at all, or pay much
Excuse me.
attention to that deliberately or accurately?
When I started the protocol, I decided that I was going to try to stop my eating window by 6 o'clock in the evenings. So that's kind of a rule. I'm not saying I'm always strict with that. Sometimes it could go to 7, but I try not to eat later than around 6. And then I usually don't pick up eating anything again until at least noon, sometimes as late as 2 in the afternoon.
Sure.
That's just kind of, that way I'm sleeping a lot of that, or, a portion of
Sure.
that. And I I'm not hungry.
Okay.
I get up, I make a tea. I'm drinking that tea throughout the morning and into the afternoon, and you know,
Okay.
before I know it, it's well afternoon, and I haven't ate yet, and I think, well, I probably should eat something.
Sure.
It's not
And
it's not
yeah,
planned
yeah. I
necessarily.
guess it better, okay. Like, well, John, now you're in a family environment. Now
Yes.
so you're eating with the crowd, kind of, sorta, or like
Yes and no.
if the little bugger's there, you're in it, or how does that play?
Yeah, it's yes and no. Like with like today. I mean, I'm spent all day at work, working part-time on my job there, just drinking the teas. That's it. And then I get home, I got the little guy with me, we feed him, but I don't eat. And then I finally decided to break my fast. That's why I'm getting on here late, because I had a late lunch or late dinner, whatever we want to call it. But I just had my salad and I had my leftover chicken from Texas Roadhouse. That's the only meal I'll probably eat tonight. And so, yeah, when I first started doing this protocol, I was like you guys, I wouldn't eat till after 12. I'd have my lunch, sip on my tea, then have my dinner. Now I've been doing it for a while. I only eat when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I don't schedule time. Only time, actually, I should say, if I do schedule a meal, it's because we have a family gathering or a
Exactly.
family
Yeah.
event.
Right.
But if we don't have a family gathering, family event, I just eat when I'm hungry. So it's not
Yeah.
uncommon for me to go 20 hours or 24
Sure.
or 30 hours since the last time I ate.
Right.
Now, since I did that 5-day fast, we had that group one a while
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
I haven't done a long fast since then.
Okay.
I'll do like maybe 20, 24 on average, but
Yeah.
I do a lot of one meal a day type things.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
And now, James, you're married too. So do you guys eat together? Are you on an individual schedule? Do you kind of, how does yours? Because I know, like, John's got, Catherine and the little Jake. So I mean, they got a little thing now. Now you and your spouse, Andrea, do you guys, like, do you have set meals, or you kind of motor on? Because you're out on the lake too. I mean, good gravy.
Most of the time we eat together, and most of the time, neither one of us are really wanting anything to eat until early to mid afternoon. So sometimes if we're busy going in different directions, of course we don't eat the same schedule, but most of the time, well, yeah, I'd say that's accurate. Most of the time, Andrea and I eat one meal a day. Especially if we're busy,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the busier you are, it seems like the less you think about food. If I'm sitting watching TV, even now drinking my tea, I'm sitting there bored to death and I want to eat something. So I don't, I try to
Yep.
stay out of that
Yep.
situation.
We're all laughing because we all know that we aren't hungry. We're just bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bored. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like James said, I don't know how many times I'm sitting there watching a movie or something with the family. I'll say, hey, popcorn or chips or something. Wait a minute, no, it's not me. It's this. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Keith,
yeah,
are you in a single environment? I don't really know. I mean, you're in a single
Yes.
environment,
Yep.
so you don't have the other, like, I have Cheryl, you guys know, and so she's gone all day at work, and so she gets home after 5, and so I got a little window here, like, before this, but generally we'll have something together, because that one time that we have before we have our night national calls, and so
right.
that's kind of our little talk time. But, like, Keith, how's your world work? Yeah, what kind of pressures do you have to pull?
I pretty much eat whenever I want. But I like James and John said, I'm not hungry. I'm busy all morning. And then by the time I even think about food, it's 2:33 in the afternoon. And
Okay.
it's like, oh, okay, well, like today I knew I ate when I got back from my doctor's office, so that was 3 o'clock today. And I won't eat again till sometime tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just I mainly kind of just wing it. I
Okay.
just know that there's I never I very hard try not very hard, it's actually very simple, but
Very simple, actually.
I just don't eat till lunch. And usually by the time I get done doing my thing in the morning, you look over at the clock and you're like, oh, it's 1 o'clock. Okay. And then
you start wondering, should I eat? Because, like, one of the things that I know that I always talk about is that food got us into this mess, and food will get us out of it. And it tells the liver to stop producing the sex hormone binding globulin, and that ruins our free T levels. So when you were really in the modern day food environment mess that we were, that not where we're at now, but in the before, how many times a day were you eating or snacking or what was your grazing feeding?
Let me summarize to you. I wake up in the morning and I start eating from sunrise till sunset. Does that make it easy? I mean, it's easy to tell you how long I was doing it versus how many meals I had.
Yeah, I was going to say you'd have to stop to count 1, count 2, count 3. I think it was just the continuation.
Yeah,
mine was easily double digits.
Yeah, because I never put 2 and 2 together. That walking by the snack little bowl we have over there with M&Ms or pretzels or whatever, grab 1 or 2 pieces. You're like, oh, just a little quick bite. I never thought that was a meal. I thought, oh, just a quick snack. And and to me, the way I was taught was, snacks are okay because you got to keep your metabolism high. When I found out all reality, it doesn't matter to your body whether it's actual food or for it's actual drink. Your body takes it as a meal. So that's the reason why we eat like 11, 12, 13 times a day.
And wasn't it funny? Because you could go by and you could grab that little nibble, and you come by and you actually were looking forward to coming back to get
another one.
Yeah, I tell you what, when I was working, in my career in the office setting, that office setting was the worst place you could be for eating, because somebody was always bringing something and putting it in the break room, whether it was a box of donuts or a leftover cake from the holidays, or somebody had a birthday, so there was birthday cake, or there was and none of it was ever healthy food. It was all just sugar,
Right.
Oh, that's my gosh. And I loved it. I mean, I had myself a hand in everything that was in there, looking back on it.
Well, that's like today, one of the guys in the office, or I call it an office, but it's really not. But they brought in cupcakes for everybody on their little shift. And like, make sure you grab one on the way out. So I can't have one. I'm like, why not? You dieting? I says, no, I just don't have my fiber with, so I ain't going to have one.
What's interesting is like coming up the 22nd of April is Senior Golf League starts. Okay. And last year I was vice president and I couldn't play because my blood was so bad I couldn't see and everything else. So now that I can see and I've got great vision and I have this new metabolic chassis I'm working with. They call and want to say, George, are you going to be here? Because it's an hour and a half away. It's in my other home. And so okay, I'll be. Because a bunch of guys died off and they need some young blood like me there. So
right.
But he's probably the oldest one there, probably.
Could be.
They want you there for the commentary.
Right. But the deal is I got to go. You're going to be there. Okay. I said, let me call you back in a day. So I called him back. I said, okay, I'm going to come. You guys need me. I said, I'm vice president of a senior golf league that meets Wednesday mornings like at 7, and guys are there at 6. You know how old guys are, and they're always early. And I said, so what's my main function? What do I do as vice president? And he goes, well, you have one main, very important job. I said, okay, what is it? Well, on the scrambles, which is the first Wednesday of every month, you're in charge of bringing in the donuts. Yeah. I had become a drug dealer. All these guys once a month. Wow. And they all look forward to it. Everybody shows on Scramble Day.
Oh, dude, they would hate me.
That's every once a free donut.
They would hate me because there's like 12 guys showing up. I would show up with 12 of those little Hostess donuts. That's it. That's it. One a piece.
Talking about golf, it's really hopping here right now. This is Masters Week, and I'm right
Oh
here
yeah,
at
my
real
gosh.
close to Augusta. We got people everywhere, because I live on a golf course. We got people everywhere here this week. All kinds of special stuff going on. They
Oh,
they
I'll
make the
bet.
most of this week. It's like the holy grail for these
Yeah.
golfers.
There's probably not an uncorked bottle anywhere too, probably, right?
Being a
Wow.
resident here, you learn to stay away from the clubhouse, away from the pub, away from the things that are, I mean, unless you just want to get in the mix of it, which I don't. So we just kind of let them have it this week. I kind of stay incognito.
There you go. Question for you guys then. What was the hardest thing on your first week when you got started the protocol when you had to switch from the snacking and all the things that we were doing? What was the hardest thing to make you make that switch, flip that switch, or was it easy?
Physically,
it
it
take
was
a
easy. Physically, it was easy, but my mindset was the hardest one for me to switch. Because, like we said earlier, you're not hungry. You think you are. That's where I struggled for a while. But physically, I was great. I was doing that mindset, getting over that emotional
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah, perfect. What about you? What about you, Keith?
I thought skipping breakfast was going to be my biggest hurdle, and that turned out to be extremely simple. It was the grazing all day long on 3 almonds here, some Chex Mix there, the soda. That was the biggest hurdle for me. And I just made a point not to go buy any, so it was kind of I forced my hand. But yeah, I mean the skipping breakfast, and I was that guy at McDonald's every single day. They knew my order before I ever got there. They knew what time I'd show up.
Yeah, if you didn't show up, they're looking for you. Like, is you okay?
Yeah, I mean I'd pull up to the drive-through. They wouldn't even ask what I wanted. They'd just be like, "Pull around." Okay.
Right.
And I thought that was going to be the toughest, and that was actually once I started sipping the tea that very first morning, I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." I just didn't go and never had a problem since.
Perfect. What about you, James? Did you have any issues making any real changes, drastic changes?
It was a little different for me because Andrea started it before I did, and I started, how this product works. I started seeing all these physical changes in her for the better. So I was really motivated,
Okay.
a month later, whenever she told me that, hey, you got to do this, I was like, yeah, I want some of that. I want to start feeling better and looking more fit, like it's transformed you. So I had some motivation there. So whenever I started it, I had her. She was my willpower. So I just leaned on her, and we started doing it together, and we haven't looked back.
There
But
you
no,
go.
I didn't have a. I don't remember having any great issues. The tea really, takes care of all those cravings and stuff. And it was just a matter of getting started and doing following the protocol the way it's supposed to be done.
Sure.
That's the most important
Sure.
part, and I did. And I mean, it's just easy.
Yeah, I had to do an inventory. I call it inventory clearance, and that meant that I didn't buy another watermelon
Yep.
because I was eating a watermelon a day or three
Oof.
quarters of one,
Wow.
and then finishing the next and having to buy another one. I was a watermelon, Dr. Pepper caramel, the cream soda. Oh yeah, I never saw a 6-pack that was left an orphan.
Yep.
You know, the $4 or whatever it was a month, where you could have a drink every 4 hours at the coffee donut shop. Every 4 hours you could go get another one. I knew, and I was doing a lot of traveling, and so I knew where every one of these is and are. But it also relates to the fact that there's a bathroom there and they're clean. So I had, I had additional reasons to stop. It wasn't just to fill up my cup.
It was a
In the
twofer.
bathroom, it's
Yeah.
that kind of, like you rationalize something. It's just insane how we rationalize this crap, isn't it? My goodness gracious. So give me the idea of when you realized that you weren't just sick, now that you're really thriving. What does that comeback feel like you today? Really, when did you really first realize that you really stepped over the threshold, the doorway?
I knew within the first 2 weeks, to be honest with you, George. I mean, I knew some things right away, but it really hit home once I realized I wasn't depressed anymore. And everything kind of spiraled up from there. And then as it progressed, my doctor slowly taking me off meds every couple weeks. It really, really lit the fire for myself.
Okay, John, what about you?
Like what Keith mentioned, I mean, I saw, because I had a CGM when I first started this, and I saw
Okay.
my numbers just drop within the first
Yep.
few hours of starting this. And I knew right then and there, okay, this is really working. How well it would work? No, I did not know that then, but I knew it did improve. But really got me though was when I put that 2 and 2 connection, like Keith said, with the depression, realizing that the depression that was gone, and the realizing that how close I came to ending my own life because I had my own 40 cal barrel in my mouth, ready to pull the trigger a few years ago. And and it really didn't phase me at first, but then it hit me. And then, yeah, of course, when I realized what I was doing, I was in tears. But because of this protocol, getting that mental clarity back, that's when it really hit me. And I'm like, man, if I would have done what I was thinking I'm going to do, one, my grandson over here would have no grandfather, period, because his other grandfather died 14 years ago in a car accident, tragically. And then there's me. And I was that close to making it all, never have him have a grandfather.
I'd be
Yep.
mad at you too.
Yeah. And
You don't
then,
want me mad at you, buddy.
yeah. And then the thing too is, I mean, even still today, just
Yeah.
when I come around and I see him, just because the way he lights up with grandma and grandpa, and even with his uncles and aunts and all that, just the way he lights up, I'm like, man, if I would have been stupid and finished
Yeah.
things, and I would have really, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no words
love
to
it.
it.
I
So,
love it. God loves you.
right.
James, what about you? What was your eye opening that you were like, okay, good. I'm on my way back.
A couple of weeks in, I started noticing the brain fog wasn't there anymore, and my energy levels had picked up. But then 3 weeks into it, I had a doctor's appointment, and they did the blood work, and my triglycerides had dropped 51 points in 3 weeks. I'd been on it for 3 weeks. So that was a real eye opener. I was like, wow, things are really happening for the best, for the better, and it's happening fast. I'm seeing results. And I was starting to already drop some weight too. So 2 to 3 weeks, I realized that there were good things happening.
Perfect. So we have about 11 minutes to go, and we're going to wrap this up. And so this section is about the reconstruction trio. And I just realized that I am amongst 3 grandpas. Of course, I'm a great grandpa. Of course, I have to be the better of all of them, right? Because I am a great grandpa.
You're
But I
great,
am a
all right.
grandpa.
Right.
But the idea is that there's a trio of things that we've got, and so I'm going to have each one of you pick one. Anybody using the everyday protein?
I was.
Yes.
Mine
Okay.
ran out.
Okay, you're out. Okay, and anybody using Stronghold?
Mhm.
Okay, and anybody using the balance?
Of course.
Of
Okay.
course.
So I'm going to have John tell us about what you liked about and what you think is great about the everyday protein. Keith, I'm going to give you I tell you what, Keith, you can have either the Stronghold or the Signal, or John, if you'd rather have the Stronghold or the Signal, and then James, you can have the balance if whatever these 3 don't take. How's that?
Go ahead and let
Personally,
them choose. No, I'll take whatever. I'm good
So
with all three.
take whatever you want, guys. Pick one. Go first.
I love the signal, to be honest with you,
All right,
George.
talk about the signal.
What the signal does for me is it helps keep things moving. It enhances what the tea is already doing,
Mhm.
and it gives me, with the magnesium and the beetroot and everything that's in there, coming from and James can probably attest to this, having extremely high blood pressure. I know when I don't take it.
You didn't have extreme high
I
blood
know
pressure.
within, if I miss a day, my body tells me I missed a day.
You didn't
And
just have
I
extreme high blood pressure. You had a complete blockage, man. Come on.
well, James did, yeah. Mine
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm
just
saying.
200
He
over
didn't
well,
just extreme high. He had a
I can
complete
add to that.
blockage.
Let me add a little something to that signal. I suffer from atrial fibrillation,
Mm-hmm.
and that signal, if I take that signal every day, which I do, it helps control my AFib.
Yep.
It makes a noticeable difference. And
Correct.
if I miss a day or two not taking it, I'm back battling the AFib.
Are you real?
That magnesium and beetroot or whatever the combination is in there has made a huge difference in the amount of AFib that I experience.
Now,
Yep.
do you take it solo or do you mix it with do you mix it with one of the teas?
No, I do it solo.
Yep.
Okay.
I do the same.
Sometimes I'll mix it and the stronghold together.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now, how about what can you tell us about the protein, Mr.
What do you want to know
Lufredo?
about it?
Tell us about it. I mean, there's all of 4 ingredients.
Yeah, I was just saying that's the biggest thing that drew me to it was just 4 ingredients. Because a lot of the proteins I've done over the years, I mean, there was a list of ingredients like 6, 12, 20, different ingredients in there. That's only got 4, stevia, cocoa powder, and salt, and I can't remember
The
the whey
whey
isolate protein.
protein
Yeah,
isolate. Yeah.
Yeah, the whey
yeah, that's just the
protein.
4 main ingredients in there. And honestly, out of all the whey protein powders I've done over the years, that is the one that tastes the best. It doesn't.
Sure.
I mean, it mixes up well. When I drink it, it's not that gritty. What else? The gritty and what else? There's some other term I can't remember what it's called now, but
Sandblast
that
in your teeth.
yeah, sandblast. It's a good way to put it. I mean, because it was not always that gritty and all that kind of stuff. Like we had one here at the house that my daughter bought, and it was all organic, and it had an ingredients list galore. And I'm like, oh god. I'm reading this. I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be chocolate. So I mix them up and I take a swig, and I'm the guy that you can give me to, and I'll drink it. No, not that. I spit that out and I flushed it down the sink. I was like, there's no way I'm drinking this. Now that
Now,
everyday
how do you
protein,
prepare this? How do
I
you prepare
love
this?
that. I just mix it in about 12 ounces of water and shake it.
Okay. Do you add anything to it or just take it the way it
Nope.
is?
I take it the way it is.
Just like it is. And when would you drink this?
Actually when I had it, I would say I always take it with my dinner. Because if you're fasting, that will break your fast.
Yeah.
Because of the whey isolate protein.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would just mix up 12 ounces, 10, 12 ounces with my dinner and have it with my dinner. So just a little extra protein with dinner.
Okay. And now let's talk about Stronghold. How do you guys utilize the Stronghold? Do you use the Stronghold? Because I mean, it has HMB, creatine, leucine, and yeah,
mTOR and all that. Yeah, I was taking it with Signal at first until the new thing came out about what Bickman was saying with Stronghold and Balance.
Yeah.
Once I heard about that, I started taking the Balance with Stronghold, and then the Everyday Protein came out, and I take it with my Balance and Stronghold, just because, yeah, your Balance helps with the glucose control. Stronghold is like the traffic cop; it kind of directs it more into your muscles, and then you got the Everyday Protein to get you to rebuild and all that. So it's been a great combination so far. So.
Yeah. And James, how do you take any of these? Do anything in combination, or pretty much? Are you a purist?
I mean, like I was saying, I've mixed the stronghold and the what's the rest? Signal together some. But no, I haven't. I've not used the signal in with the balance yet. I need to start doing that because I'm aware of what they were talking about, and then the whey protein. I just do it by itself. Usually, usually after dinner, something like that, because I don't want to break my fast with it. Something I'll add about that protein, that whey protein, there is I'll touch on what John was saying. I used to work out a lot, and I've tried about every brand of whey protein, and you know, to start with, the vanilla was just horrific. Chocolate was the only thing you could really stomach, and most of it was nasty. Or
They're chalky.
you'd have to mix it with whole milk just to make it taste okay. This is the first whey protein that I can mix with water and enjoy. It's good.
Okay.
Yep.
It's definitely just from experience and years of using
Okay.
those types of products. It's the best tasting I've ever found. By
And I
far.
would say, yeah, and I would say from a grandpa standpoint that we just don't eat stuff we can't pronounce. So if you look at a label and you can't
Right.
pronounce it, don't eat it. I mean, it's pretty simple that way. All right, we got about 2 minutes here. If you someone's watching tonight or later on, and they feel like maple syrup, which is kind of one of my nicknames, what's one thing that they need to hear for them to be able to start on their golden comeback plan, the simple 3-set reset? What would be one thing that you want to make sure that they hear from you?
Go ahead, James.
Anyone can do it. Any age, any person, anywhere. You're not too. If you're still breathing, you can do this and improve your health. Anyone can do it, and it works for everyone.
Correct.
Great. John?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that a little bit. Is like I haven't found any metabolic situation yet that this does not help improve. I mean, heck, we've got a lady who's in her almost 80 years old, living in assisted living, taking this protocol, still eating the assisted living diet, still taking all her medications because the doctors and nurses there don't believe that this stuff works the way it does. And she still improved her triglycerides. She still lowered her cholesterol. She's still improving her health, even though she's still eating and taking all the medication. And so you just do it. Be consistent with it. I know at first a lot of people struggle because we're so fiber deficient and people have a hard time with that fiber. And this ain't your normal fiber. I mean, it's a 7-blend proprietary blend. And people are like, oh, I just go to the store and get Metamucil. It's not the same stuff, I promise you.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing too is people are like, well, just go to the store and buy your fiber from there. Yeah. Okay, cool. There's one little packet, 6 cups of broccoli, 5 apples with a peel, 5 apples with a peel, and 2 cups of black beans. Yeah, I could buy that every day, but I can't buy that much fiber for $1.60. That's what this cost me, $1.60. So first of all, you're getting a good quality fiber, and for the cheapest amount of money I can find. Yep. That's why I do it.
Okay. Keith, what would you tell someone? What do you think they need to hear?
The fiber for me, I kind of lost a chunk of that. It has helped in more ways than one with just my blood sugar, just the control of blood sugar. And I mean, after 25 years of being diabetic, I didn't think there was an answer. I truly didn't. Now I take 2 balances a day, and I have never in the past 25 years felt as good as I do now and as young as I do. It is one of the best and easiest things I've ever done.
Great. Guys, I love you. And, we just want you guys to know that the liver's not the traffic cop. Don't try to bribe him with donuts. Feed him right. Give him a break. And he'll give you the metabolic manhood back. Guys, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you,
Have
brother.
a great night. Thanks for
Bye,
coming.
everybody.
Great night,
Take
guys.
care. Bye-bye.